The operation gets underway. It's the 25th of September, 1997. The agents take up positions near the offices of Khaled Meshal. Mishka Ben David sets up operational HQ at the Intercontinental Hotel. With him is a Mossad doctor. In his bag, an antidote to the poison in case an agent is infected. Not far away, the two killers wait for the target in front of his offices. And it's the target himself who now takes up the story. Our car pulled up in front of the building, and I noticed two men on the pavement opposite. I watched them. They seemed strange and acted suspiciously. When I got off the car, instead of heading for my office, I went round to the other side of the car to let my kids out. I was meant to take them to the hairdressers. And then when I was on the pavement, even before getting to the entrance of the building, the two men attacked me to my right. It was precisely what I was expecting.
They started to spray him with the poison in the Coca-Cola. And instead of hitting the back of his head, they hit his ear.
I heard this very loud noise in my left ear, and I felt like an electric shock all through my body.
The two agents started to run to the other direction, and at the same time, another Hamas operative came and saw the whole happening. And he started to follow the two agents, the two operatives, that were going towards the getaway car.
The car screaming away attracts the attention of a passing driver, a pro-Hamas sympathizer. Intrigued, he sets off in hot pursuit after the Mossad agents. The car chase winds through the streets of Amman. After 800 meters, the two Israelis, knowing they're being chased, leap from the car. They find themselves on some wasteland, still chased by the Jordanian. A crowd soon forms. Trapped by the mob who forces them to a local police station, the two agents are soon unmasked as Mossad operatives by Jordanian intelligence services. Poolside at his hotel, Mishka Ben David is unaware he has a serious problem. But that soon changes.
I was reading the book by D.H. Salinger at the swimming pool. And then came a figure that belongs to the operational team and said certain words that had to be said to show that we are connected, and said we have problems. So I got up, got dressed, and I was told that the two operatives that conducted operations were caught by the mob. That they did conduct the operation, but then there was a gathering and they were caught.
2 hours after the attack, Meshal's condition is worsening. I started feeling very ill. Nausea at first, and then I lost my balance. I felt very weak. I told my colleagues what had happened. I said I was the victim of a bizarre murder attempt using a very effective method. Later on, we discovered that it was a chemical weapon.
So I called, not from my room, HQ in Israel. And I was told to take the different operatives and bring them to the embassy. I knew where each one of them would be, and I took them one by one and brought them to the embassy.
To keep it low-key, Mishka Ben David uses local taxis to get the agents to safety. He doesn't know yet the Jordanian authorities have exposed the other two. When informed, King Hussein of Jordan is furious. the king soon receives an important call from Israel.
Peace treaty is still active.
His former chief of staff
Wasn't
was
cancelled.
present.
Could have been cancelled. Prime Minister Netanyahu called His Majesty King Hussein, and he confirmed that what happened to Khalid Mash'al was due to an operation by the Mossad to assassinate him.
Feeling betrayed and outraged, King Hussein threatens to tear up the peace treaty he'd signed with Israel 3 years earlier. The Mossad fiasco jeopardizes the stability of the entire region. The day after the operation, the king summons his government before the national and international media. In front of the cameras, the message is clear. If Mash'al dies of poisoning, then the peace treaty dies with him. One of our brothers has been the victim of a cruel attack. It is totally unacceptable. I've told our international partners that the existence of the peace treaty depends on the life of this man.
حياة مسيرة السلام معلقة بحياة هذا الأردن. وكرامة أن يعامل الأردن مثل هذه المعاملة.
King Hussein threatens the Mossad agents who have sought refuge inside the Israeli embassy in Amman.
في يوم من الأيام.
Had Khalid Mash'al died, the Israeli embassy was going to be stormed. Our troops came in and positioned themselves around the embassy, and I informed this to the ambassador, and he told me this is Israeli territory, and according to Geneva Conventions you cannot do that. I said, well, if it has become a shelter for people who try to assassinate a Jordanian, then how is the Geneva Convention going to apply?
Meanwhile, in Amman's military hospital, Khalid Mash'al is affected by a continuing loss of balance and drowsiness. His health is visibly deteriorating. The doctor's prognosis is that he just has a few hours to live. King Hussein instructs his personal doctor to save Khalid Mash'al's life.
There were no sign of any injury, no needle pricks, no bruises in the skin, nothing. And examining him, he wants to sleep. He said, I'm weak, I just want to sleep. And we were talking to him, and come on, Mr. Khalid, take a breath, open your eyes for me. And the thing which struck me, when I examined his eyes, the pupils were constricted. We call it pinpoint pupils. That gives you more idea that this a very heavy dose of a narcotic was in his body.
The doctor is certain that Mash'al was poisoned with an unknown chemical substance. The Hamas leader is put on an artificial respirator. The Jordanians contact the Israelis again to ask about the chemical and the antidote.
The Israeli ambassador called me and he said he's been on the phone with Prime Minister Netanyahu, who refused to release the chemical that was injected to Mash'al.
With Netanyahu being stubborn, King Hussein plays one last card and calls President Bill Clinton in Washington. With peace at stake, the conversation is crucial.
President Clinton was very upset. He listened very carefully to what King Hussein had to say, and he said, referring to Netanyahu, this man is impossible. Now, he activated all his government offices and the American ambassador to put pressure on the Israeli government to have them come up with the antidote and with the chemical that was injected to Mash'al.
With its back to the wall, the Israeli government panics. The lives of the two Mossad agents are threatened. To save them, they have to provide the antidote that will save Mash'al. When the head of Mossad told us that the mission had failed, the Prime Minister asked, "What's happened to our people?" The answer was, "There's a problem." Prime Minister then said, "I don't care about the rest of it, just get our 2 men home at all costs. If we have to save Mishal, so be it."
The mission becomes saving the 2 operatives. The means is reviving Mashal.
Saving their worst enemy's life. In all his 12 years at Mossad, this was a first for Mishka Ben David. From his hotel room and with a Mossad doctor, he will play the vital role in deciding the outcome of the affair. Both men have a file containing the antidote.
Then I got a call from the head of operations saying, "Go down to the lobby with the doctor. There is a person from the Jordanian security, his name is Captain Firas. Give him the antidote, and the doctor should go with him and inject it to Mashal." He was in uniforms, and I went. I said, "Captain Firas?" He said, "Yes." So I said, "Here is the antidote, and here is the doctor." And he had a very, very severe look on his face. I wouldn't call it a hateful look, but very, very severe. And we didn't have any conversation except of this. It is a very strange situation in the middle of an operation to actually hand yourself over to them and to have the doctor even go with them to inject it to Mashal.
The discussion between the Israeli and the Jordanian is curt. The Mossad doctor is taken by the security services to give the antidote to the hospital director.
She gave me 2 vials with adrenaline written on them. But Ali told me we're going to use this. So immediately I thought, we're not going to use anything unless we know what it is. Because it could be the poison and we could finish him off with it.
The Jordanians are wary and don't want to take any risks. They send the Mossad vials to a laboratory for analysis. 2 hours later, the analysis shows it is indeed antidote for the poison. After being injected, Mishal slowly recovers from his coma. The Hamas leader comes back to life. Only later do the Jordanians discover the poison was specially prepared for this one mission.
It's not used in medicine. It is a synthetic narcotic like the drug which we use, the fentanyl. And if fentanyl, which we use, is 100 times more powerful than morphine, imagine this drug is more powerful than the fentanyl. So we don't know how much. Maybe it's used for elephants or something like this, to put an elephant to sleep.
On the afternoon of 26th of September 1997, Khalid Mishal's life is saved. For Mishka Ben David, his enemy's resurrection is ironically good news, even if the mission was apparently a failure.
We failed in it. Actually, the operatives succeeded in the operation, but were caught. Mashal was on his way to the other world, but we had to reverse the trend and to bring him back to life.
I'm alive, but no thanks to the Israelis, whose original objective had been to kill me. But they failed, and I'm still here because God wanted it that way, and also because of my bodyguards and the courage of King Hussein.